Okay, so what we'll need for today's class, if we just have a look at the Moodle, we're going to be taking a little further the vector masking that we did last week, and ultimately you'll be creating a poster, and you'll be able to use the supplied images, but you'll also be able to take them a little further as well. If we have a look at the folders that we download, we will start, and I'm just going to demonstrate putting a Pokemon and logo onto a cup. And I'll show you a few different ways that we can do this now. But just knowing that it is vector masking that we'll be looking at in a bit more detail today. What you'll also see is you'll be creating a poster. So this is what you'll be doing the vector mask with. So you won't worry about doing the cup one that I'm about to show you. But you'll be creating a poster, and you'll see that there's a range of images that you can use. I've actually gone in and just got some cityscape images, and I actually use this website called Pexels, which you're able to download an array of images. Yes, Abby.
But
well, don't use the AI ones, but not, well, you can use whatever ones there that you want to use, all right? Anyway, so you're more than welcome to use the cityscape images. And as I said, you'll see a range of photos of posters, basketball players, and there'll be an example of a poster that you'll create. There'll be logos and things. There's some Matildas here if you want to use Matildas, same sort of thing. Okay, so what you need to understand as graphic designers, quite often you have to pull a piece of design out of thin air and do it quickly. And so in this case, you're creating a promo poster that could be, let's just say that it could be used for a promotion of an event, like a game coming up. And so all you've got is a couple of photo images, and you've got to put something together for promotional purposes. So you need to be able to do that quickly and confidently. So this is what we need to do. And so you can't worry about, I don't know how to do this. You just have to do your best, okay? So what I'll do is I'm just going to go through this little run through masking that we've covered so far. And so what I have is just this image of a cup. And what I'll do is I'll grab one of these, just drag it in, click the tick or tap the return or enter key. Noting that this is a smart object. Okay, so just remember, I'm going to need to alter that a bit later, but it's a smart object to start with. What does that mean? Let's have a look. So this is just a demo. If I open this up separately in Photoshop, okay, so just know this image is what I've dragged into this file, but this is that image, Okay, it's separate. So I'm just going to change this, and all I'll do is I'll just invert it. Okay, now I'm going to save it. Okay, I'm coming back to this image, and hopefully what it will do is it should invert because it's the actual file I'm doing. Anyway, maybe it's not going to do it. Maybe we'll just undo this and save it. Save that for another day. What I'll also do, just coming through here, I'll just drag the logo in. And so what I have are the assets that I'm going to use. Now, what I'm going to show you are two ways in which we can mask this, knowing that Photoshop now does AI. Okay, so I can select this layer. So just remember the layer that you have selected is important. And I'll just come down here and click on Remove Background. Okay. So just so that we can see what we have, I'm just going to create a layer and I'm just going to fill it with 50% grey, just so we can see what we have. Now, the reason I've done that is that because there were some aspects of that image which were very close to the colour of the background, it's taken them out. Okay, but what we do have is we have this mask. So if I highlight this layer, my paintbrush is no longer a paintbrush, which we can use to paint in colours, and some people use Photoshop in a very artistic way, but rather this paintbrush is now a mask brush. And so importantly, I have the mask highlighted. So if I come in here, I'm actually painting out the mask. This is on black. So just remember, just to the right of the P key, I've got my left curly bracket, my right curly bracket. If I flip between black and white, if you like your shortcuts, Shift X flips between the foreground and the background colour. This paints the mask back in. Okay, so mask out with black, mask in with white. It has to be white or black. It can't be a grey. If it's a grey, it will be a semi-transparent rubber. Okay, so it has to be hard black, hard white. So now I can come in here and I can paint in the rest of that. Shift X, might come and clean this up. Okay. Now, if we have a look at that, you can see that it hasn't done a great job. We've got that sort of halo sort of aspect there. So what we could do, now I'll undo that. I double clicked the mask. The long way around, I can go select and mask through the select menu. But by doing that, now what I can do is I can shift my edge. And hopefully you can see, or you can see that it's just moving the pixels in a bit. So might do that a little bit, might just smooth it out a little bit as well. You can sort of see what it's doing. I won't feather it. Maybe a little bit of a feather if we need to, maybe a bit of contrast. And go, okay, so that's a little better. So just know that the image quality is quite important. So in terms of having a really good resolution image, if you're doing that. And I will say that you will do that more often than you do other ways of masking. But what I do want to show you is the old-fashioned way, because that's why we're here today. So I'll bring this in again. Oops, not that one. Now, we started talking about this last week. I'm going to talk through how I'm doing this with what buttons I'm pressing and what I'm actually doing. I'm going to use the pen tool. So I'm going to use the pen tool to draw around the edge of this figure. Okay? This will work for things like hard edge subjects. It won't work if you're trying to mask someone's hair or something like that. But it's worth knowing that there are different ways of doing it for different results. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start at a corner. And I'm just going to start by clicking and dragging an anchor point with the pen tool. Okay. Now, I don't need to create lots of anchor. I want the fewest number of anchor points possible. So I'll come over here and I'll just click and drag a little anchor point. Now, at this point, I'm going to hold down the Option key and drag out. And what that's done is it's created a little point here rather than a big rounded one. I can come in and fix these up. I'll just zoom in. Click drag. Hold my Option key. Click drag out of that anchor point. Click drag. I'll fix this up a bit later. Don't worry too much. Click drag, Option key, click drag, Option key, click drag, Option key on the anchor point, click drag, click drag, click drag, Option key on the anchor point, click drag, Option point, Option key, click drag. So I can come through and just sort of create a much tighter little set of anchor points with this. Now I'm going to do this very, very quickly. So I want you to get onto things, but I think it's worth just knowing what the advantage of this will be. So we work our way around. I'm just holding down the space bar to move up and down. And so it's quite good, Option key, to move in close. Just makes it a bit easier. Just do this really quickly. Now, what's going to happen is my mask is going to be much different in the layer. I just want to so I'm just holding down, as I said, click drag to create my handlebar to get the rounded part, then click with the Option key in the anchor point just to create a little point. Almost there. Look for the little circle. We're good. Come over to my tools, the white arrow, and I'll also use that Convert Anchor Point tool. Look. So I'm just moving things through. So I won't try and get this perfect because I just want to demonstrate something. All right, so what I've got is a vector path, okay? All right. Now, so I've got, you can see the vector path. All right, so just watch this. Up in my options shelf, I actually have a little button that says mask. If I click on that, what I have is a different sort of mask. Okay? And so what that means is, if I get my white arrow and I click here, you can see that the mask is actually reducing things. So I can actually be a little bit more precise with those. So it's a nice sort of way of working, just getting the first things done. And let's say that we're moving okay. So just understand what it is we've just done there. Now, this isn't a massive consequence with this Pokemon figurine, but if you're using something very, very, like, let's just say you were removing a background for a figure, like a model or something, we've got to be very, very precise. We can't just make up where the edge is, okay? All right, so let's just say that this is all pretty good. And what I'm now going to do is I'll come up and I'll do that select and mask. Oops, cancel. Oops, I think I've undone that. So I can come in and just adjust that a bit better. And so now we have this in place, okay? From here, I can come in, start to move things around. Now, just know what I have just done. I've just started scaling things. Okay. And we can come in here. Get these, just get everything in place. Scale, so I'm holding down the Option key. We can come in here. Now, if we want, remember we did that warping the other week with the figure. So to do that, we have to rasterize, so take it away from being a smart layer. And so now edit, transform, and I can do that warping where I can actually just try and get it wrapped around things a little more. Okay. So I just wanted to demonstrate those two techniques today as a little refresher. Okay, so work with that. But what I want you to do is to come up and choose one of the figures. Okay, yes, they are AI, very annoying to look at. Okay. And look to make your background and your poster. Okay. So we'll go through and do a few other little demos a bit later, but just to get you moving, now I'll just end this here and I'll answer your questions.